They said this team was still too young. They said the brutal rebuild in the deep heart of Texas would take years, if not a whole decade. They said talent alone doesn't win championships in today's modern, hyper-competitive NBA. But guess who was completely wrong with those outdated predictions? The year 2025 was no ordinary calendar year for the San Antonio Spurs. It wasn't a typical year of transition or patient waiting. It was the exact, undeniable moment in basketball history where a sleeping giant didn't just wake up spectacularly, it ran over the entire NBA with a force of nature, plunging the competition into an absolute, inescapable nightmare scenario. From a historic franchise record right at the very first tip-off of the new season, to game-deciding sequences that literally melted the internet and social media. Today, we are taking a deep, uncensored look at the absolute craziest, most monumental and emotional Spurs moments from 2025 that every true fan out there still can't stop talking about. These moments have long since become timeless classics that you just have to watch on loop. So fasten your damn seatbelts. This isn't just a recap, this is the documented birth of a new, unstoppable dynasty in global basketball. To even begin to comprehend why the year 2025 was so ridiculously historic, so incredibly dominant, and so profound for the culture in San Antonio, we have to rewind the clock just a little bit. Before the official start of the current season, massive, almost disrespectful skepticism reigned in the front offices of the competition and the TV studios of the major networks. Self-proclaimed experts and sharp-tongued critics ranted on every podcast. Victor Wembanyama desperately needs more experienced help out there, or this bone-young team has absolutely no real consistent rhythm to survive in the brutal West. The voices were loud, they were toxic, and they demanded patience. But patience was the last thing the Spurs front office had in mind when setting the strategic course for the future. In the highly anticipated 2025 NBA Draft, San Antonio once again proved their legendary golden touch. Right at the second position, just behind Cooper Flagg, who was selected first overall by the Dallas Mavericks, they snatched the next all-deciding puzzle piece for their futuristic star ensemble, Dylan Harper. A guard with a basketball IQ and a cold-blooded nature that someone this age shouldn't even possess. Together with defensive monster Stephon Castle, whose defensive ratings gave opposing point guards sleepless nights and a perfectly measured dose of crafty veteran power, head coach Mitch Johnson formed a sworn brotherhood in no time, a squad that no longer just wanted to play along. From the very first second, they were ready to terrorize the entire league, flip the NBA hierarchy upside down, and declare every arena their own hunting zone. The real, unmistakable turning point and the first gigantic thunderclap happened right in Golden October. The Spurs started the brand new 2025/26 season with a tactical aggressiveness, a physical toughness, and a defensive consistency that absolutely nobody saw coming. Opposing teams seemed genuinely shocked by the pure athleticism and blistering pace San Antonio put on the hardwood. After an extremely hard-fought, emotionally charged, and dramatic victory against the favored Miami Heat that went down to the final second, the unthinkable was officially written in stone: 5 wins, 0 losses to open the season. That wasn't just a good start, it was a historic earthquake. It was the first time in the entire glorious and legend-filled history of the franchise that the San Antonio Spurs started a new campaign so flawlessly, so undefeated, and so absolutely perfect. Forget for a brief moment the epic era of Tim Duncan, Tony Parker, and Manu Ginobili. Forget the glorious days of the Admiral David Robinson. This new generation of hungry players wasn't here to walk in the shadow of the past. In October 2025, they wrote their very own golden history with every single dribble and every defensive stop. But right here, at this specific point of the journey, is where it gets truly eerie and almost terrifying for the rest of the basketball world. What Victor Wembanyama conjured onto the court over the course of the calendar year 2025 borders on a total refusal to allow opposing offenses to exist. It simply wasn't human anymore. This guy didn't just block shots like he did in his rookie season. No, he systematically and cold-bloodedly destroyed the pure, mental will of his direct opponents. Attackers suddenly hesitated when entering the paint, looked around in panic, or wildly passed the ball back out for fear of humiliation. With an absolutely perfect, almost unfair mix of buttery smooth, deep triples from way beyond the arc and inhuman, rim-rocking poster dunks, the French phenomenon finally propelled himself into the most exclusive spheres of basketball history. His name is now rightfully mentioned in the same breath as icons like Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Michael Jordan, or LeBron James. His statistical dominance was a work of art that drove analysts to despair. And the absolute, highly emotional climax of this unbelievable year in December, the brutal, unstoppable run to the very first NBA Cup final in the glittering metropolis of Las Vegas. An epic showdown against the New York Knicks that electrified the masses. Even though the Spurs narrowly lost the final 113-124. It was an absolute statement run on the sport's biggest stage, making it unmistakably clear to the assembled world elite. The San Antonio Spurs are back, and they are here to stay. But why does this deeply stacked team work so incredibly well and harmoniously from a tactical standpoint? Why does every single gear mesh so seamlessly into the next? The answer lies in the unbelievable deep bench and the unconditional team spirit. Coach Mitch Johnson managed to establish a highly modern system in which every single player accepts their individual role perfectly and without any ego. The absolute best textbook example of this new identity is Keldon Johnson, a player with the talent of an undisputed starter who, for the sake of shared success, slotted into the role of the ultimate luxury sixth man without a single murmur or complaint. He came off the bench and immediately brought an energy that completely overwhelmed the opponent's second unit, and he did so in all 82 games of the regular season, averaging 13.2 points and 5.4 rebounds per game. It came as a surprise to absolutely no one when he was rightfully crowned NBA Sixth Man of the Year for this sacrificial and highly efficient style of play, becoming only the second Spurs player ever to win it after Manu Ginobili in 2008. When your established stars and emotional leaders are willing to voluntarily come off the bench, sacrifice themselves for the team, and spit pure fire on the hardwood, you as an expert know that the team chemistry inside that locker room is absolutely unbeatable. This unity is the true, secret foundation upon which championships are built. The year 2025 was therefore not just a series of spectacular highlights and loud victories. It was the unshakable, rock-solid foundation for everything that is yet to come in the next few years. With one of the statistically best, most consistent, and dominant regular seasons in franchise history, the San Antonio Spurs sent a warning to the competition. They proved that the time of waiting is finally over. They came to stay, to dominate, and to collect trophies. They took the entire league by storm, proved the critics wrong, and made the loyal fans in the Frost Bank Center go completely wild game after game. The euphoria in San Antonio is more tangible than it has been in decades, and this is just the beginning. But now it's your turn out there, dear Spurs community and basketball fanatics. Which specific moment from the legendary year 2025 was your personal absolute favorite? Was it that historic, nerve-wracking 5-0 start in October that set the tone for the entire season? Or was it one of Wembanyama's spectacular alien blocks, where he completely redefined the laws of physics? Or maybe the emotional run at the NBA Cup in Las Vegas? Write your opinions, your analyses, and your most unforgettable goosebump moments right down in the comments below. I want to know how you experienced this historic year. If you enjoyed this video and want more deep NBA content, make sure to leave a subscribe, hit the like button, and turn on the notification bell so you never miss another analysis. We will definitely see each other next time when we tear the league apart. Peace out.